Because usually when you're in the struggle, when you're in the grind, no one gives a fuck about you. Let's be realistic. Maybe you're a couple of friends, a couple of clients, but majority of the people don't really care about you. But then you make it big. Then you're that girl. Hello, beautifuls. My name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sunflowers podcast and founder of G is from Growth. And today we're gonna talk about how I went to Austin and we had the first Love Your Body retreat for the Strong Sunflowers podcast. If you are all about growth mindset, about bettering yourself, personal development, travel, baby, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you. Join the field, but let's get right into it. So last week I had the honor and privilege to work with my co-host for the podcast, Xana. Shout out to Casa Carby. And we had this idea, hey, if you're flying out here, let's have a retreat. And I was like, okay, what does that look like? We're always like, we're always working scrappy, okay? If you listen to our podcast of where we started with nothing and we just continue to show up and resilient is the best word that I can describe that. And we just planted our seeds. So we're like, okay, how would this retreat look like? So the people that we have on the podcast, a lot of them are strong ass sunflowers, just women empowering each other and showing up for themselves and other people in the world. So we had women that had nonprofits. We had women that had embodiment classes. We had women that were midwives and ex-nurses and owned their own businesses. So we're like, okay, how can we call onto the field to create this community? So we got to work and we got to work with Heather Haycock. We love her. She has a class that she teaches, her own personal business called Sass and Ass, and it's all about embodiment and helping you feel comfortable in your body. And when we pitched the idea to her, she was like, hell yeah, sign me in. And then we interviewed Joni on the podcast, and we also were like, she was like, hey, I would love to be a part of this retreat that you guys got going on. And we're like, Joni, say less. And she decided to do the mindful segment for us. And we were so grateful. This whole retreat was all like our intention, because we're all about intentions over here, was to help people feel more grounded and more grounded in themselves, in their purpose and who they are. And I feel like the more grounded we are with Mother Earth, of course, the better it is to figure out what we truly want and what our true purpose is. So we reached out to Casa de Miel. If you're in Austin, Texas, Casa de Miel is a nonprofit run by Patsy. And we were like, Patsy, can we use your space? She's been on the podcast as well. And she's like, hell yeah, say less. How can I help? And oh my gosh, between Patsy having the space for us to come together and really be in nature and feel grounded, Xana started the retreat by talking about mindfulness as well, and just setting the soil for us, because mindset and what we believe in our perspective is so powerful. If we believe that we can do something, we can do it. Even when all the odds, all of them, not some, all of the odds are against you, if you believe that you can do it, you can make it happen. You can make it happen, baby. I've seen it. I've lived it. I am so thankful for this podcast that we started, the Strong Sunflowers, because at the beginning, no one was listening to it. But I was listening to it because that's what I needed. I needed to know that, hey, you're going to plant a seed. And the seed's gonna have to go underground. And it's gonna be dark and it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be humid, it's gonna be muggy, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But that is okay. And after you plant that seed, you take the courage to plant that seed, you have to leave it fucking planted. Because a lot of the times we have this goal and this dream and we start, we have that courage to start. And then we're like, oh, okay, never mind. I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to start the YouTube channel. I don't want to start the podcast. And we take the seed out. So baby, rule number 1, leave the motherfucking seed in there, okay? And after you put the seed, you can really start your roots. And you start to sprout. And you start to find your footing. And you start to find your ground. And those roots are spreading. And you're like, okay, this is not so uncomfortable. I can be on camera. I can speak on a mic. I can listen to my own voice. And then after that comes the stem. So you're out of the ground. And that's where the true work starts. On the podcast, we call it, the stem is the hard part. The stem is the sweat, the blood, the tears. The stem is also, because when we first started the podcast, I used to hate the stem because I'm like, oh my gosh, the stem. It sucks. It's uncomfortable. But the stem is where you learn the most valuable lessons of perseverance, the lessons throughout the journey. Because one of the things right now in my entrepreneur journey that I'm doing is I'm just reaching out and just watching a lot of content that has to do with entrepreneurship. And one of the things that they talk about is it's not just the destination when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's about the journey. It's about what you can learn from your mistakes, from your failures, from your wins, and how can you apply to it in a later on or to the present. And that's why real wealth, the people that made it there, not handed to, can get it again and again and again because they learned the lessons through the stem, through those hard times. So that is, I know for as humans, we like to just stay away from like the hard things, but trust me, the hard things, it's what's really going to propel you to do better in life and to level the fuck up, man. Level the fuck up. And after you get that stem, it's that beautiful bloom moment. That bloom moment that most people see. That all people see. Because usually when you're in the struggle, when you're in the grind, no one gives a fuck about you. Let's be realistic. Maybe you're a couple of friends, a couple of clients, but majority of the people don't really care about you. But then you make it big. Then you're that girl. Then you really make it. And then the new people in the circle, the new people in the field can only see that bloom moment. They can only see that strong ass sunflower, that beautiful, beautiful sunflower, bright, bold, in your face, authentic, getting shit done, making that money. But they didn't see you having the courage to plant a seed, leave it there, water it, go through the stem and all that. And oh my gosh, this podcast, this retreat, I should say, was the epitome of everything that we've ever wanted. Like to be able to see it come to life, man, that was our harvest. Because we always talk about this. After the bloom moment comes the harvest, and everything in our lives, we reach this amazing aspect. Oh my gosh, I graduated college. I have a diploma. I have a bachelor's in biology. That was my blue moment. And then it's done. And then if I do decide to go to medical school, that's another seed. And I have to plant that seed and then start over. And then when I become a doctor, that's another blue moment. So it's like these cycles of the sunflower as well as cycles of life. And I was just in awe that we could have this retreat. And one of the things that Santa and I talked about also when we decided to make the Strong Sunflowers a business, it was a little bit hard just because we were like, okay, we're a business now. What the hell do we sell? And as you guys know, I'm a minimalist, as you can see by my room. I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't like a lot of stuff. I don't like to spend my money in a lot of stuff. I usually spend my money on food and travel. That's it for the most part. And I just didn't know what to sell. And I didn't want to be that brand, that business that's selling you crap that you don't need. Water bottles, pens with our logo on it, the Strong Sunflowers. Like, don't fucking buy that shit. Don't do it. We wanted to bring value. We wanted to really enrich people's lives when they came to us. So we were like, shit, I don't think we should buy anything. I think we should create community. And just to see, it just spread like wildfire. And one of the other things that we were looking at too is like when there are networking events, people are usually like at bars, drinking, talking to each other, networking, right? It's indoors and it was just like not our vibe because Xana and I don't drink. And we're like, okay, what can we do? And that's why we decided to go to Casa de Miel and have it outside in the grounds with our feet in the grass, grounded to what really matters. And that created connection between everybody that was in the event. So we freaking loved that. It was amazing. Santa talked about the 5 tips to becoming a strong ass sunflower, which if you don't know, tip number 1, knowing the difference between self-love and self-care. Tip number 2, setting boundaries and saying no. Tip number 3, fail your way to success. Tip number 4, ask for help. Very important. And tip number 5, advocate for yourself and others. I am making a video in detail about all these tips. So definitely go check that out because baby, this will change your life. It has changed my life and I see it every time I see just strong ass not just women, but individuals out in the world. Joni helped us with breath work and also just getting more grounded into the event. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys that she talked about is whenever you're feeling anxiety or you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, really just tricking our mind to come back to our center and being grounded. Sometimes we're in a city and we're not close to like a yard or grass or greenery. So the best way that you can do is a breathing technique. So it doesn't matter how many increments you do it as long as you double it. So for sakes of simplicity, if you breathe in for 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, you hold for 2, and then you release for 8. And then you continue to do that until you regulate your emotions in your system. And that was an amazing experience to be able to do it outside in the grass. And these are just like little nuggets and tips that the people that went to the retreat got to experience, because life is hard and it gets busy, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a mother, if you are just in the world living, trying to survive, right? And after that, I got the privilege to talk about heart. And the thing that came to my mind the most was, for me, was core values. And I always say this, if you haven't read the 5th agreement, you need to. And if you haven't read the 4th agreement, what are you doing? These books fundamentally change my perspective and the way that I walk through life. And in the 5th agreement, he talks about the further we are from our core values of who we truly authentically are, the more depressed, the more anxiety, the more sad and out of touch and out of line we feel. So when I was given to talk about heart, I really wanted to bring it to that. I wanted to remind people, it's like, what are your core values? For me, my core values are freedom, loyalty, trust, honesty, and authenticity. I need to feel like you are who you say you are. I need to feel that you are loyal. I need to feel free, baby. This butterfly is not meant to be caged. I'm supposed to be out in the garden, in the world, and just fluttering my wings, you know, living my best life. And I just really wanted them to feel that. And then we had in scavenger hunt. So I wanted them to go out in the field, literally. We were in this whole bunch of acres in this farm, and I wanted them to ask themselves some questions. And some of the questions was like, take a picture of something that represents your younger self. And for me, I took a picture of the mud next to the horses in the pasture, and it reminded me of being young and in Cuba and making mud pies. Those are like core memories for me, like creating mud pies and pretending to own a little bakery. Like, I love that. I wanted them to go back to their childhood. Oh my gosh, if you're in the Austin area, we're having another retreat and it's all about play. So you can't miss it. Go follow the Strong Sunflowers on Instagram. And another of the questions was like, what's something that you want to be more like? And I took a picture of weeds in the garden, and like, I just want to be fucking resilient. Like, I don't give a fuck who doesn't want me there. I am gonna show up like a motherfucking weed baby, an invasive species, and I'm gonna show up and show out. Like, I want to have that character of showing up regardless if it's hard, showing up if it's raining, showing up if it's sunny, showing up if they don't want you to show up. All of the things, showing up if I don't feel like it. I want to be able to show up. One of the other questions was, take a picture of something that reminds you of your higher self. And I, of course, you already know, gang, took a picture of a butterfly that was flying in the garden. Like, when I think of my higher self, I really truly see a butterfly. But in the podcast analogy, we call the butterfly the guider, the teacher. You know, they know what it is to feel like a caterpillar and to feel like nothing and to feel like close off in the bottom, not knowing that, baby, you can fly high if you take the time and that cocoon to really like hone on who you are and your core values, and then, baby, fly and be fucking great. And it was so good. And after that, we got to go with the horses, and we had like some horse therapy and just really see ourselves in these powerful, amazing creatures. And last but not least, Patsy had this amazing idea to plant our intentions, and they are creating a sunflower little garden at Casa de Miel. So if you're in Austin, Texas, go volunteer there. It's an amazing nonprofit. But oh my gosh, we got to plant our intentions and what we want for this world and what we want to be able to bring to this world, the creativity. And it's not always just about what we can take, but what we can give. And that was an amazing way to finish the retreat. And what I learned from this experience, by the way, if you're into human design, I just found out that I'm a 5/1 generator with a sacral authority. So for me, it has to come from the gut. It has to come from like, it's a hell yeah or it's a fuck no. And after experiencing the retreat, I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So you guys, your girl is moving to Austin, Texas. Your girl is moving to Austin, Texas. I am so excited because I have so many other projects in the work. I'm creating my app right now. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've told you guys this, but the app is called Create. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's gonna be life-changing. So I can't wait to go back to this moment, to this video, and like, you guys, thank you so much. I just wanna throw it out there. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for downloading the app. I appreciate you. I loved you. I've been fucking with you guys from day one. And if you've been fucking with me from day one, thank you. I appreciate you. But I really think that this is gonna like blow up my life and blow it up in a good way because your girl is ready, baby. I've been doing the work. Money ain't gonna change me. And if it does, y'all better keep me accountable. Y'all better humble me real quick and bring this video too, just in case I act crazy. But oh my gosh, but yeah, no, going to that retreat and seeing the power of community, that's the new wealth. That's the new power. That's the new. And I'm so excited that we get to share it with you guys. I love you guys. I will be posting a video more in depth on the 5 tips of becoming a strong ass sunflower, but I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Ciao.